Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Yeah, no, it's great that they get to make money while we're shut down. Our kids are shut down. My kid can't play hockey. All the kids are so depressed while these guys get to live high. And we're struggling every day. I don't see how that's fair.
Well, I think it's about time we start putting the pressure on Doug Ford. He's allowing his business to be running, and it has non-stop been running while we're closing down so many small businesses.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, it's a Thursday, and every Thursday afternoon at 4 o'clock, as you might know, a group of demonstrators go to the Radisson on Dixon Road. That's one of these quarantine hotels. Well, we think it is. It's not on the official government list, but we sure know there are people being held there against their will. And they typically demonstrate. They post signage with phone numbers on it, offering people free food, free rides. Well, they went there today. It was a bit of a nothing burger for them because there didn't appear to be anyone taking them up on their offer of sanctuary. So they decided, well, I guess they were inspired by our report last week about Deco Labels and the potential conflict of interest Premier Doug Ford has. You see, Premier Ford is also the owner of Deco Labels, and Deco Labels allegedly makes the signage and the floor arrows and whatnot, all those Wuhan virus protocol etiquette signage. And so when you think of it, would the Premier really want that much to get out of lockdown mode, given that his company allegedly services those companies that can open up and providing them with the signage and providing Deco with a nice boost to the bottom line? So they're here to protest this apparent double standard, this apparent conflict of interest, and I guess we'll just see what happens. We know they're not really known for their heap and helping of hospitality here at Deco Labels. After the Premier's office avoided our emails and phone calls in terms of comment, we decided to come here last week, as I said, to get a direct answer. And well, when we went up to the door, this is what happened.
Good afternoon, Deco.
Yes, hi there, sir. My name's David Menzies with Rebel News, and I'm just outside your door here. It's locked. I was just hoping to interview somebody at Deco Labels.
Yeah, can you leave the property? It's private property.
Oh, can we leave the property?
Yes, please.
Okay, I just wanted to get one question answered.
Property.
Is Premier Ford in a conflict of interest situation in that your company supplies these signs and decals and labels for the COVID-19 protocols?
I want you to leave the property, or I'll have the police here.
Oh,
Goodbye.
who are you, sir? Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, so, wow, it just really makes you scratch your head. Whatever happened to Doug Ford back in the days when he was Mr. Ford and so open to us and pitching a show at Rebel News and actually being a guest speaker at a Rebel Live event?
By the way, David, I'm not a politician. I can't stand politicians because they're all phony. They are. I'm a businessman that volunteers his time for the people.
To get off the premises, or we're calling the police and having you arrested for trespass. So I guess we'll see what happens here as these people try to make their point, and who knows, maybe they'll get some answers from the people at Deco, or maybe the boys in blue will show up again. What are you going to bet on, folks? We were tipped off, a while back. That was why we did that report, that perhaps the Premier is in a conflict of interest. Allegedly they make the signage, for stores to, enforce the Wuhan virus protocols. Wash your hands, sanitize your hands, follow the arrows. So, do you think the Premier is indeed in a conflict of interest? Because being in lockdown mode or semi-lockdown mode, that would seem to be very good for business for Deco.
Yeah, no, it's great that they get to make money while we're shut down. Our kids are shut down. My kid can't play hockey. All the kids are so depressed while these guys get to live high. And we're struggling every day. I don't see how that's fair.
Well, I think it's about time we start putting the pressure on Doug Ford. He's allowing his business to be running, and it has non-stop been running while we're closing down so many small businesses. I also think it's a conflict of interest because I know that he's making the COVID labels, decals, floor stickers, whatever.
And do you know that for sure? Because certainly those are the allegations we were reporting on last week.
Well, I don't know for sure. I don't work in there. But I know that I was at his business 3 years ago when it was almost bankrupt and there was 3 cars in the driveway. Now it's packed.
This gentleman here that owns, which is Doug Ford, is in conflict of interest because he owns a label company, right? And he's making all the labels for the plandemic, the scandemic, the whatever you want to call it, right?
You know, we see a fire truck, a Ford-made fire truck in the laneway, and it's got a bumper sticker that says "Respect for taxpayers." Do you feel respected these days, sir?
No, I feel kind of trampled on. I don't even know what's going on. It feels like some kind of creepy movie. But he kind of needs that to put out the fire that he started with everybody out there, no?
If you come here during the day, you'll notice that every parking spot is full. So he's got lots of employees now working for him, while others are being put on the unemployment line.
And you know, we're happy to hear their side of the story, Suzanne, but you know, when we came here last week, they threatened to phone the police and charge us with trespassing. The Premier's office won't respond to our emails. So, I don't know, they could be as innocent as the driven snow, or, you know, their silence might speak volumes.
Well, my mother always used to say an old slogan to me: those who have nothing to hide, hide nothing. So Randy could come outside right now and tell us his story and tell us that he's not making COVID-19 labels or anything to do with that and put that story to rest, but he won't.
We want to be accurate about this. You know, sir, we reached out to the Premier's office. They wouldn't respond. We came here last week. They threatened us with calling the police and having us charged for trespassing. Why are they so standoffish?
I have no idea. I mean, we've been down to the protest at Queen's Park, and look at what the Tories done with the police officers down there. So they're hiding something.
By the way, even when it comes to policing, there is a double standard, folks. I think of a regular business called the cops, a regular cruiser with a couple of constables would come. Well, that, my friends, that's a supervisor. What can I tell you? No one's coming out to address the demonstrators. They're not even answering their phone. But then again, maybe they're just too busy printing off decals and labels and signage and whatnot. And you know, you got to wonder what's happened in the last 3 years. I remember on the campaign trail of 2018, for the people, I thought that was for all the people, all the Ontarians, but we now know it's the select few. It's the CEOs of Costco and Walmart, the people that Melissa Lockdown Lanceman goes to bat for as a lobbyist. Yeah, those people, it's business as usual. Actually, it's much better than usual because the little people, well, they're shut down or even bankrupt. And remember also the other political campaign chestnut, Ontario open for business. Doug, whose business? The big box businesses? Your business? Well, but I'm sure they do good work here. In fact, I think I'm going to give them a call to get a giant banner made up with the Premier's most oft repeated slogan for the past 12 months. You know, we're all in this together. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. If you have had your charter rights trampled on in the name of the Wuhan virus, please reach out to us at fightthefines.com.